What is going on, Florida State family? Seminole Nation in the 863 tribe. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. a.k.a. the goddamn truth. Spring ball continues to stay in full effect. And FSU recruiting. We got a little recruit today. We'll talk about that, though I don't care much about recruiting in April. The main focus is spring. Man, the spring practices and reports keep coming in, and you're starting to maybe see some cracks in the fan base if you haven't already seen them. I don't know. I think people are maybe getting fed up, maybe losing a little bit of that optimistic side of them. Some pessimistic fans. We've always had those. I mean, some accuse me of pessimism at times. But I don't know. It feels a little different this offseason. But that's what we're going to talk about, man. You are on episode 115 of The Hangover. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Most importantly, in my opinion, is to share. Because most of y'all aren't new. So whether you're subscribed or not, most of y'all are probably subscribed. Most of y'all are going to hit the like button. Just continue to share the video to your Facebooks, Instagrams, whatever you got. Share the video with the friends, family, anybody interested in these Florida State Seminoles. I need you to share the content. So, obviously, before we always get into any of these topics, we hit the quick roll call. So get in that comment section again. We'll wait a little bit, let some more people come slide on through before we get into everything that we about to go over here today. But basically, man, I don't know. Go ahead and put in the chat, man. How are y'all feeling? What is y'all thoughts on this Florida State football team? What are y'all thoughts, man? Are y'all getting a good warm and fuzzy based off some of the spring reports? A lot of injuries. We talked about, I think, on the last live stream, man. Injuries are just continuing to pile up. I'm looking at the transfer portal, man. A lot of players continue to hit the transfer portal. That spring transfer portal is going to be very interesting to watch and follow. UCF's quarterback that started, I think, the last 4 games of the season for them. He's in the transfer portal. Is that a player that Florida State should, dibble and dabble at? Me personally, I wouldn't be against it. Y'all know my thought process. When it comes to TC, have little to zero faith in any of that. So if you told me they went out and added another quarterback for assurance, if that young man is interested, I say go for it. I say if he's interested in competing, Dylan Rizek, if he wants to compete, I say go for it. Because one of the main things that just me personally has me very on this football team for this upcoming season, it's the quarterback room. It's the fact that even if you told me in the chat that you think TC is going to be a wonder, okay, fine. I still don't think he'll finish the entire season. I still don't think he finishes the season. So with that being said, that means eventually we're going to go to Brock Glenn. It's kind of like what we've seen, been there, done that. We've seen that. So for me, adding another quarterback, a guy that's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, he's 6'2", 205 pounds, has familiarity, obviously, with Gus Malzahn and all of that good stuff. Look, man, I say go for it. But that's just me. Let's not waste no more time. Let me hit this roll call real quick, man, and let's continue the conversation when it comes to the offseason for Florida State. KCD in the building. He says, what's good, Poke Gold Knowles? Hold on. Okay, there we go. William says Memphis has an NFL type offensive lineman that's going into the portal. Should FSU be interested? I don't know. Should they? Should they? Probably wouldn't hurt. We need to take all the help on the O line. What's already got you, KCD? My bad. Vontae B's in the building. Says go Knowles. 850. What's good, Polk? Antonio says many blessings to you, my friend. Mike Merrick, what's up, Polk in chat? Go Knowles. Mike got us. Mike Merrick, you might got us. I don't know about Norvell though. I don't know about Norvell, but Mike Merrick's got us. I don't know about Mike Norvell. Jen Fari says, hello, everyone. BG Gaines in the building. Pistino said, let's go. Vontae says, this is a wrap if TC. Yeah, apparently. I don't know, Vontae. Do you think if TC was, let's just look at it. I mean, come on, let's just get into it. D. Thompson in the building. If he goes down, then where are we at? That's kind of my question is where are we at? And again, I'm not even sold on the man if he's healthy though. Like that's maybe that's one other conversation. 850 says Polk, I feel you. I feel like JP flipping that linebacker room, especially with recruiting. So there's been some good reports of the linebacking room coming out of spring. I gotta wait and see. Like, here's the thing, guys, and this is kind of what I want to hammer. We spent last year, bamboozled by off-season reporting, and they actually had access to the practices. Like the media actually did get to watch and look and see, and they bamboozled us. So I take nothing from these practice reports. Absolutely nothing. Other than the injuries, I guess is the only thing that you can really take from it. But I don't take, you can talk about the linebacker room. You can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. They're being very, they're only releasing certain clips that they want released. They are only saying what they want to say. And I don't blame them for it, to be quite honest. Don't blame them for that at all. But the point is, I take all these reports, I take them with a huge grain of salt, and so should you. That doesn't mean that I don't look. Again, I'm bullish on the defense. I think the defense will be better than I think maybe we even anticipate. I think the addition of two veteran linebackers, along with the growth of a Blake and a Omar and a Juice Cryer, like I think there's a good combination and core there in that linebacking room. I don't know if JP's flipping it. Me personally, if it was me, JP wouldn't be on the staff anymore. I'm not sure what he brings to it, but I guess if the linebacking room plays well, we can account that to JP linebackers, and the other three eventually just got better because they've been on campus for 3 to 4 years now. So that's just me. If it was up to me, JP would be looking or he'd be coaching elsewhere, but that's neither here nor there. Kenny Ken in the building says we need to start spending money, a lot of money. And Grill Master, what's good with you? So supposedly the Memphis linebacker is a legit NFL prospect. We'll see. Being he played at Tennessee, obviously had a lot of production at Memphis. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. Again, you can tell me anything you want to tell me. We're not going to see a spring game, but I'm going to wait and see what exactly this team and these players at these positions look like. Right. So it's good to hear good things. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm happy to hear that maybe there are some position groups that are doing the damn thing. But like I said, I'm taking everything with a grain of salt. And I would advise. I know how this fan base is. I know this fan base starves for news. Believe me, I get it. But please take everything you hear with a grain of salt, my friends. especially since you just watched 2-10 last year. That's all I'm saying. Almighty Finn in the building. What up, POLK? Have you heard the latest realignment talk for FSU? Yes, I think I covered that on the last live stream. We talked a little bit about realignment. I'm not gonna talk too much about it here tonight, but yeah, there's some buzz picking up when it comes to Florida State and Big Ten. I even saw something about the SEC, though. I don't think that happens. I don't think that happens. Give me 1 second. And so, yeah, realignment is a thing. And it may come sooner rather than later. Today, Florida State got a commitment from one Sean Johnson, class 2026, out of Maryland, corner, 6'2", 195 pounds. I'll bring up his profile. I want to hit this up, and then what's up? Corey Hall's in the building. Hold on. Let me. Here we go. So you guys can see his recruiting. This is on 3. I'm also, I also go to 247 as well. I don't want to talk about the ranking because what I've learned about this fan base is when I talk about stars only matter when they matter for a lot of people. Everybody in the world is going to tell you, and again, I'm not saying he's not, but everybody in the world is going to tell you he's not really, he deserves to be higher ranked. He should be a 4-star, not a 3. So I'm going to ignore that. I don't care about it. What I do care about, obviously, Pat Surtain has a type. 6'2", 195. That's a big corner. Or safety, right? They haven't listed as corner, but we'll see where he eventually plays. Hold on. There we go. Like I said, the stars only matter when they matter. And in this case, I'm sure they won't matter because everybody will say how he's outperforming his stars. But if you look at his offer sheet here, you got NC State, you got Maryland, you got Penn State. So you got a lot of these, northeastern area schools here. Wisconsin's not really northeast, but that's, Midwest. Actually, let's go look at the whole Virginia, Michigan State, Indiana, all these teams in the north. Oregon offered, so that should tell you something. Tennessee offered. He's got a pretty good offer list, actually, if you look at the offer sheet, right? So, again, I'm not saying the young man can't play. Akron is the final. So he's got actually a pretty good. He's got pretty much the whole ACC after him. Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Georgia Tech, BC, Syracuse. He's got a couple SEC schools interested, and the Big Ten is the other conference that's really interested in Sean Johnson. He's got the body type, man. Again, 6'2", 195 out of Maryland, Archbishop Spalding High School. And if we go to let's go see if there's any big difference. 247, I know y'all can't see it, but 247 pretty much has him rated about the same, but his measurements are a little smaller on 247. They got him 6'1", not 6'2", and 175, not 195. But of course, the offer sheets are pretty much identical. Let's see here. Let's go, I just want to check out a little clip of him. This is going to be my first time watching this clip. So, how do I make this? Oh, no, this from over there. Can I make this bigger? Okay, there we go. Can you guys? Let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, you guys can see it. Let's see, man. That's a little highlight tape. See what we're working with here. Again, not the most high, not extremely highly rated. But he's 6'2", 195 or 175 or whatever he is. He's a long, lean, lanky corner, which is what Pat recruits, man. That's what Coach Surtain goes after. I'm not seeing anything, frankly, that's jumping off the screen right now. Other than he looks, his size looks legit on tape. Like he looks legit. Like I don't know why that mattered. Like he didn't. That was a terrible overthrow to me. I didn't see anything there. His technique is god awful. So you're gonna have to tighten that up. Like that's just a drop. So no picks here. Doesn't look explosive necessarily breaking to the ball. Again, a bad throw. I'm not trying to, I promise you, y'all, I'm just trying to, good open field tackle. He got the tackle. I mean, he didn't get the tackle per se, but he stopped the play. He pretty much gets tackled there. That should have been offensive pass interference. I would like to see a bigger hit there. He had a clean shot, but okay. I'm going to say that Maryland football is absolutely garbage because I've seen about 1 million drops so far in this game. Good tackle. He's very raw. Very raw prospect, in my opinion. Good pick. Read the quarterback's eyes there. Good pick. So he's going to need some work. Why are they showing sacks as his highlights? He might not be a corner. I mean, he might be more of a safety. Just from what I'm watching. I don't know. Doesn't look like a fluid athlete to me. He almost looks like, I don't know. Doesn't look. Okay, not mad at the take, but this is why I do these things live because people are gonna tell you one thing. I'll let y'all make your own assessments on what you see there. Is that a good take, bad take? Should he be a 4-star? Is he ranked just about right? I'll let y'all go with that. Again, big kid, big long kid though. So I like that. Let's go. I'm just reading the comments, y'all. Grimace says, decent DB frame. We'll see what we get out of him. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? Montre, what's good? He says he's not mad at the get. Panama says hips aren't fluid to me, but he's okay. All right, let's continue. Again, hit the like. Be easy talking about my Maryland football. I don't tell us what's the high school ball in Maryland look like? Because I saw about 4 receivers just drop balls right in their hands. So I don't know. I don't know. Clayton says, man, I don't blame you for feeling that way, Clayton. But he's the newest addition to FSU's recruiting class. So, and just to sum up the whole recruiting talk, currently, again, very early in the process, but currently FSU has 9 commitments. On 3, they are ranked number 15. They're 3rd in the ACC. Top prospect is Ephraim White, athlete/receiver out of Vero Beach. This is a very heavy DB. Even right now, I mean, you've got Tadarius Hughes, safeties. Again, 6'2", 170. You got Darrell Bell, safety, 6 foot, 175. You got Darion Williams. He's maybe the shortest guy Surtain's recruited. He's 5'11", 165. That's already 3 DBs. And then, of course, Sean Johnson. That's a 4 DB class already. So they're targeting the type of DBs that they're looking for, and they've done their thing there. Some other notable prospects: Amari Thomas, running back, and then Karen Mayock. I got it. This looks like a Randy Shannon linebacker, 6'1", 180. We'll see what happens with that one. And then Xavier Payne, offensive tackle, 6'7", 275. Not a lot of blue chippers just yet. But again, it is early in the process as far as recruiting goes. So, we don't have no D lineman committed yet, no quarterback yet. If you don't know, Landon Duckworth, didn't he? I think he committed to Ole Miss, if I'm not mistaken. I know that was the guy that everybody knows, man. Gus's system needs that quarterback. And right now, we're just not sure who that quarterback is going to be. Landon Duckworth is getting he didn't commit. He's getting crystal ball to Ole Miss. Again, the recruiting process isn't done. Anything can happen. Bo Bentley, he's another one. I think FSU was it him that FSU was after? I feel like it was. Of course, we already know Brady Smiegel's gone. And then I would love for us to get Keyshawn Henderson. I haven't heard any traction on that. So anyway, let's keep it pushing. Better get them trenches. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the O line and D line, because right now we ain't really cooking on that side of the recruiting trail. But I don't get too high or low about recruiting in April. And one thing Mike Norvell has done is he's definitely shown that around the month of July, August, those 2 months is where the class comes together. He usually gets a lot of his guys signed in that main summer window. He's done it like the past 3-4 years. I would expect the same this year. And then from there, we'll see where that goes. So I'll be more in tune come that time. In April, I don't really care, and definitely not in any panic mode. Don't really care. Filling out the base of the class. Hopefully we get better prospects late in the summer. That's what we usually do. So again, I'm not tripping about recruiting in April. What we can talk about in April, though, and this is where I get the pulse of you guys. This is where you guys now you get a chance to tell me what you think, man, because I don't want to make you all feel, or I don't want to drive your opinions. I want y'all to tell me how y'all feel. Based on everything you're seeing in the reports, based on the injuries, based on all these things, I feel you, D. There are definitely some dogs that have come out of that DMZ. Won't dispute that. Let's start here. I want to start here. So, since we're kind of in the recruiting talk, we've talked about injuries, and it's come out that Hakeem Williams, number 8 on offense, the lone 5-star that Dugans was able to, you know what, let's just cut to the chase, guys. What are your guys' thoughts? Do y'all think Hakeem's out of here? If the transfer portal, if the spring ended tomorrow and FSU was going to push guys out of here, y'all think Hakeem Williams, who are just some players that y'all think would be in this portal? I'm talking about leaving the team, because I think the spring portal is going to be as important, if not more so important, than the initial winter portal that opened up after the season. There's some quality guys entering that portal right now. There's no way, on paper, right? Because I can't see the team in action, and I don't believe any reports that are coming out from people that can't actually watch it. But on paper, I don't believe that this team really stacks up. Right? I really don't. Give me 1 second. Someone's calling me. Jesus. All right. Just like that, I forgot where I was. Okay, we were talking about the portal, and we were talking about who's gone, who's staying, and how important I think this spring portal can be. Because again, I think on paper that I'm not so sure this team stacks up across the board. To me, the quarterback room is about as bad as a quarter. I think the quarterback room might be one of the worst in the country. That is me, my opinion. I know that's gonna maybe make some people angry or upset. Got it. If y'all like him, whatever. That's not a knock on Brock Glenn. I'm just not sure he fits what we want to do now with the new OC and Gus Malzahn, who might even be actually the head coach. I'm not even sure what Mike does here anymore except give terrible interviews. So I'm not sure Brock Glenn's fit. I don't think TC's good. That's just me. And Kevin Sperry might have a bright future, but let's hope, pray, sacrifice a goat to whatever deity you believe in, that we don't see that freshman this year. Because let's hope that freshman doesn't have to play this year. Let's hope. I've read the reports that he's turning heads in practice, bro. That's all good talk. That's all good talk. Again, pray to Allah, the flying spaghetti monster, Jesus, whoever it is you believe in. Pray to that person that we don't see Kevin Sperry on the field in meaningful games. I just don't think the roster it's really on offense. Defense, I think we probably need some more depth along the defensive line. On the defensive side of the ball, I'd have a bigger warm and fuzzy, and I'm already pretty solid on the defense right now. You're hearing good things about linebackers. Again, take that for what it's worth. I think you've recruited the secondary about as well as you're always going to have DBs at Florida State. Can we get something out of them is going to be the bigger question. I think Earl Little and guys like that might be in for a redemption year. So I think the secondary is going to be pretty good. If we can get a pass rush, holy cow, now we're talking. I would like some more depth along that defensive line. Seeing KJ Sampson, and it's good to see these guys' names get mentioned because those guys he's not anticipated as a starter, so there's your depth. But still, I wouldn't mind adding a couple more bodies along that front just to bolster it. But offensively, I think offensively, I'm not impressed by too much. And for me, man, it just honestly starts with the quarterback room. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's the quarterback room. Point blank period is the quarterback room. I think quarterbacks can elevate teams, and I just don't see that with what we have. So, what do you guys think? Who's hitting the portal? Who's staying? Is a guy like Hakeem Williams, is he going to get pushed out? I mean, we said it. Like, this was that make or break. You know, I don't know why my camera does that. It just cut me out. Anyway, like I was saying, we said it. This was that make or break year for Hakeem, right? But you got guys like Elijah Moore. You've got DeJuco and Scott who could take those snaps. Boggs, as a freshman, might be ready to go. Hakeem better figure it out. You know, and I don't want him to go. But I also want him to bring in talent from this spring portal. And if that means you got to cut some fat, if Hakeem's considered some fat, you might have to do what you have to do there. Maybe a guy like some other guys on the O-line that's not coming along. Maybe running back or something. Excuse me. I don't know. Jeff says the injuries are going to happen. They're playing more physical as long as they don't have any serious injuries. I'm okay with that. Williams is gone. Where the hell is he going to go and get play time? If you're talking about Hakeem, I mean, you don't think he can go to FAU? He's from South Florida, FIU, and get playing time? You don't think he can go to UCF or USF and get playing time? If you want to stay in the state of Florida, there's plenty of options. Plenty of options just in the state of Florida alone. He's going to have to go to one of those type of teams, but you're going to have an option. You know, I think Hakeem is gone. One of the younger receivers will probably transfer. If Hakeem leaves, what team to pick him up is my question with those injuries. Okay, I just answered that one. Gus the head coach now. Squirrel seems to get off when he's playing with two solid outside receivers. So I think Hakeem stays. But that's assuming that Hakeem is solid. That's assuming we put in Squirrel in the slot. Makes sense. If you get Deuce on one side and Hakeem another side, like those things make sense. I just, Squirrel's not even healthy for us to say much of that, Ronald. I wasn't sold on CT either, but he's our guy. CT who? Who is CT? Help me out. I'm tripping. Who's CT? It don't matter. I think you mean TC? I wasn't sold on TC either, but he's our guy. Okay. If y'all like TC or he's our guy. Okay, he's our guy. Okay. Here's the problem, Jeff, with what you're saying. First of all, who's been a Heisman winner in a Gus system? And if the answer is Cam Newton, right? Because Gus, I believe, was the OC. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong for Cam Newton. Could be wrong there. I think he was, though. Anybody would have won the Heisman with Cam Newton. So who's the Heisman winner? You don't have one. That's for one. It's great if you're ahead of the chains. If you're ahead of the chains, here's the problem in football: you're not always going to be ahead of the chains, and on obvious passing downs, TC is going to fail you. It's going to happen. I'm not trying to talk y'all out of liking that kid. If y'all like him, and look, if he comes out this year and he balls, I will get on here and eat crow and tell you how wrong I was and that I'm an idiot. That's fine. I don't have any problem doing that. So I'm not here to convince any of y'all that TC is whatever you don't think he is. I'm just telling you what I see. And we can go from there. What, you don't love the midget? I didn't call him that. I don't think you're even allowed to. You're going to get me canceled, Corey. I don't even think you're allowed to say the M word. That's not politically correct. He's a little person. Not allowed to say that word. You got to get me canceled. Wide receiver room is where people are most likely to leave. Marco, how are you doing? If it doesn't look like Keziah Holmes will get legit minutes, he should probably transfer. It's his last year. I agree with that, Antoine. It's tough to say because of the injuries to both offensive line and receivers. We'll have to wait and see. FSU Tony in the building was good. But the point I'm making is you don't have to be a Heisman candidate. You don't have to be an all-star quarterback to play in that system. We'll see. You know, I said this when they – again, and I liked the Gus hire, but I said this when they hired Gus. I want you to name me the last quarterback not from a decade ago and Nick Marshall. Name me the last quarterback that Gus had that you said, oh, snap. Just name them. I don't really know what to think about TC. The team says they like him, but it'd be really bad to come out and say again, take everything you're here. No one's gonna come out and say the guy sucks. They didn't say it about DJ. Think of the suckiest player on the team. No one has ever came out and said, oh, this guy is just trash. No, you're not gonna hear that. I would say go watch him play. His best highlights are against an Adam Fuller defense in Florida State. If that don't tell you everything you need to know about Thomas Castellanos, I'm not sure what else to tell y'all. Passing situations are but that's right. That's where it's gonna. Obviously, that's where it's gonna matter. Because if you're ahead of the change and you can run the ball downhill, all bets are off there. Because now you have the defense on his heels. But what happens on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8? What happens? You can't count on the man to improvise every time and scramble for that. He's going to have to eventually, especially in game 1, Bama is going to force us in 3rd and longs, and he's going to have to make throws. You're not going to have to wait 5 games to see it because we're now opening the game with Missouri Valley State. In game 1, you're going to have to see him convert obvious passing down situations on 3rd and long. He's going to have to do it if FSU even has a chance to be in that game. I'm just going to call it like it is. And you go watch him previously against non-Adam Fuller defenses, and you tell me how that really worked out. Hey, man, like I said, guys say good stuff about everybody. So Deuce ain't going to throw his quarterback under the bus. But I hear you. Why would he come play for or play with a guy that sucks? Gotcha. All TC is a scramble drill. Word is that the quarterback position is up for grabs. The corner position, Q Jones, has been up and down. Hey, we talked about that on a stream or 2 ago, Antoine. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I think that corner stuff is up for grabs. Whether it's it could be a guy in the portal. I mean, the portal, again, I talked about the portal. There's a lot of guys jumping in the portal, DBs and everything. It could be a guy in the portal. I won't be Charles Lester because, from my understanding, he's been out with an injury. But it could be a Kai Bay. It could be they've recruited the position. I would expect them to have an answer on the team, but it could be a portal guy. And maybe if Q Jones or some of these other guys are been up and down, maybe that's a sign that the receivers are better than we're anticipating. So there is some things that you can, again, try to be positive about. FSU, so I was very vocal on my TC take. I understand the running ability, but obviously passing downs he will hit or miss, and maybe miss. He's going to miss more often, just off of what we've seen. Does that mean he won't or can't improve? No. Maybe he does. The likelihood, I'm not so sure. He said we're going to run inside zone on 3rd and 10. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's weird to me that Deuce came over here knowing he's QB. Again, and you got to take that for whatever that's worth, Just don't get beat by 30 in week 1. I don't think they will get beat by 30. Bama has its own questions that they have to answer, to be fair. But we'll wait to talk about Bama, because that is a long way away. The roster, I'm not too sure, is 100% complete. So I'll wait. We're not going to talk about Bama right now. But the point is, to beat Bama, or to beat good teams on the schedule, you got to be able to throw when the defense knows you're going to throw. Yeah, you could have a guy like Arnaud or the other freshman, the Seminole, the actual real Seminole. I forget his name. Ricky Knight, maybe, like Edwin Joseph. FSU's got DBs, so I'm not really too concerned if Quindarius Jones. Everybody told me Jabril Rawls. I remember, y'all, we had that conversation about Jabril Rawls. So FSU's got a ton of DBs. Somebody grab the brass ring, damn it, and take charge of that room. And then, with that portal opening up, I mean, let's go. I think FSU has a chance to add some guys. No name in particular. Like, I'm not looking at, not necessarily Zay Thomas. Okay, so Zay's not here yet. That's another good sign, though. Like, and that's a good point, like, from Antoine. And I'm going to get to you, Jeff. I see you. And I'm finished answering this question, too, here, Grillmaster. But Antoine brings up a good point. There's still guys that have not gotten on campus. Zay Thomas being one. Chroma's not here yet, right? And probably some other guys aren't quite on campus yet. I can't think off the top of my head, but I probably could look it up. Grillmaster, who are some guys you hope are coming from the portal? Again, no specific names. I'm more so just, there are some players that I've seen hit the transfer portal that are intriguing, in my opinion. So I'm on it right now. And if we just kind of look, these are all old. Where do I get the new players at? I don't want all these guys. I don't think there's a new list yet, but just guys that I've seen hit the portal. I mean, here, South Carolina State edge, 6'4", 245 pound. He had 11 sacks last year. It is South Carolina State, but Ashad Hall. Like, again, we're talking about guys that I think, if you want to just add depth, that's a guy. Missouri had a linebacker hit the transfer portal. Makai Gibor, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. He actually transferred from Nebraska to Missouri. Maybe he wants to reunite with Tony and the boys. 6'2". I'm not against taking, and he got 2 seasons left. I would not be against taking Another linebacker. Mizzou looks like they're having an exodus right now. Cornerback Jamarion Wayne has entered the transfer portal. Former 4-star recruit, not saying FSU should target him, but if you're having some corner difficulties, former Louisville, Charlotte, and Ole Miss edge Damon Clowney. Oh, no, he signed with South Carolina. Cousin of Jadeveon Clowney. But there's a lot of guys that's in the portal, and I'm just, now that I found it, like I'm just looking. So, North Dakota State linebacker. I would like to see more defensive linemen, but those are premium positions, and those guys are probably going to wait to hit the portal. Yeah. FSU's going to have a chance to add, I think, some quality guys. I mean, App State had an O-lineman hit the portal. Florida safety Gregory Smith III. Like, that's a guy I think FSU could spin the block on. I already talked about Dylan Rizek. In my opinion, definitely got to contact Rizek and see if he's interested in reuniting with Gus Malzahn. And that's just from me. Again, not a guy who's enamored with our current quarterback room. Give me another guy that can push these guys. I'm all for it. Chattanooga's got – so there's players. I think I've drove my point home there, right? There's some guys that I think you could enter. Jeff, sorry for the wait, but Jeff with a $10 donation says, I'm missing this last time. They're going to get some guys through the portal after the spring. This is not the team right now. You're going to see in the fall. And that's basically what we're talking about right now. Yeah, this not a complete team, which is why it's hard to judge anything, but you got to add – I just don't want – don't just add some guys. Like, let's add some guys who can compete. I appreciate, as always, Jeff, I appreciate the love and the donation.
My name is Jeff.
Bradley says he's already at 108 to 109. Got to get rid of 4 before we can add any. I think you could probably find 4 guys to get up out of here. And probably have to cut 7 to 10. We could probably find 7 to 10 guys to get the hell up out of here. But I hear you, Briley. But Briley says he doesn't believe Norvell's going to do that. That's not what he does, unfortunately. Corey says, why in the hell we always have this problem at QB? Why can't this dude recruit a quarterback? No way I would let a offensive coordinator come in and change the type of quarterback I recruit. Dude is a joke. You see any good receivers? Not in the portal, I haven't, no. And I agree. We need more D linemen. What's up, Damon? So, yeah. So now we're going to continue here, right? We kind of talked about portal, and we're talking about who should come and go, and all of that's fine. But I'm starting to get the feeling, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the fan base does not seem too enamored with Mike Norvell right now. They don't think this team. So let's just put all the chips. Let's just put all the chips on the table, because that's where I'm at with it at this point. I've kind of been alluding to it, and I've said it a million times. For me to feel good, Mike went 2-10. He needs to go 10-2. Like, we just need to reverse the record. But as this team stands, there's no way I see a 10-win team. I don't see a 9-win team. And I'll be honest with y'all, 8 wins I feel like would be overachieving for this team right now. On paper, I'm not sure. The good news is this team doesn't play. We don't play football on a spreadsheet, right? We don't play football on paper. That's the good news. But boy, I'm asking y'all in the comment section to talk me off the ledge, because again, it's April, and Jeff made the point, and other people have made the point. This is not the team that you're going to see in the fall, most likely. They might be able to add a guy or two. Briley also made a point, unless they're going to cut 7 to 10 guys, what are you really going to add that makes a big difference? How feasible is that? I'm not so sure. Like, I would love for them to go after Rizek, but with Rizek not getting any springtime, are you really bringing a guy like Rizek in to compete for your quarterback job? You're probably not. The ugly truth might very well be that this is the team you see, with the exception of a couple guys added, but this is the team you see. This is the team you see, and I really promise y'all, I don't come on here intending to talk down. But a reason, when I introduce myself in every live stream, I always say, what do I say? I say my name. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. a.k.a. And then what's that last part? I can only come on here and tell you the truth. I've never been one to come on here and tell you what you want to hear. I've never told you it was raining when he's actually getting pissed on. I've never done that. And I'm not going to start doing it. I think our defense has a chance to be pretty good. The problem is I don't think Gus has the personnel offensively quite yet. And there's a part of me, man, that just doesn't believe. Not a part of me. I don't believe. I don't believe in that head coach. That 2-10, I told y'all, man, that 2-10 broke me. The 2-10 broke me. I don't believe anything I hear. I don't believe none of these reports. Bama's going to be the game that I will be excited for that game. I'll be optimistic for that game. But there's going to be key things that have to happen in that game for Florida State that actually win that game. I appreciate that, Jacob. What kind of? I'm not personally a beer drinker, but just if you don't mind me asking, what kind of beer are you drinking? Are we going to fire Mike after this season, or are they going to give? If it was up to me loading, he would not be here right now. When you lose to Duke and have the first 2-10 season ever, your voice and leash is very limited. How are we at tight end? I think we're actually probably, offensively. Well, tight end might be the best group on paper with Landon Thomas and who's the guy you got from UCF? Is it Pittman and Lofton? And you brought Biscuit back. I would say on paper, tight end's probably the best room on offense because you don't have Chroma there at running back yet. And the damn sure ain't quarterback. Receiver's not bad on paper, in my opinion. If Hakeem, or not even just Hakeem, if Elijah Moore, LaWayne McCoy, some of these other guys live up, and you get what you think you're going to get out of a Deuce Robinson and a Squirrel. I think Jaylen Brown has got some praise this offseason. Again, take that for what it's worth. So I think the wide receivers on paper aren't bad. But I think tight end might be the best group on paper because the starters are good and you have depth there. And then the O-line, I think the starting five is probably really solid. My problem on the O-line is injuries. If injuries happen, I don't know who's backing up who. And now we're back to paying guys that probably aren't ready to play. Montre says, I see 7 to 8 on a good day. Whew. Antoine says, I think Tony White will bring out the best in the defense. It's all on the offense. I'll talk you off the ledge, but everything I've got to say ends in a splat. Thanks a lot, Bradley. Thanks a lot. We can only recruit a running QB now. Like, you can't adapt your offense to fit someone else who can throw outside the hashes. Thank God for Jordan Travis because, man. Goddamn truth. You muted me 2 years ago when I called him Sunbelt Mike. Well, because 2 years ago he was 13-0. Like, you got to give man credit. He went 13-0. 2 years ago he was literally 13-0. So yeah, that's why I'm probably muted you. If Mike expects to lose Hakeem after spring, he needs to go get a good receiver. I have no faith in Ty Simpson at Bama. That's fine. You don't need faith in Ty Simpson at Bama. Everything around Ty Simpson is levels ahead of what FSU has. Unless that defense. Again, I really don't want to get into the Bama talk right now because that is so far away. So I'm not even going to say that. But regardless of what you think Ty is or not, you can't name a position group that FSU has an edge over when it comes to Alabama. A cores. Well, you already know what I be on. Mike lost me too. Appreciate you, Albert, for stopping by. Appreciate that. And that's fair, Panama. The man did have some losses at Bama that he shouldn't have had. I agree with you. I just 2-10. 2-10, bro. 2-10. Do you think running back coming in the summer can elevate the offense? I kind of doubt it. Well, unless he's Saquon Barkley, and I don't know what Chroma's going to be, by the way. So I'm not sitting here telling you that he can't be. Or unless he's Dalvin Cook. Let's just keep it Florida State. Unless he's Dalvin Cook, unless he's going to have that type of an impact, I would say no. And even as a freshman, Dalvin didn't have that type of impact. Granted, he also, as a freshman, was playing with Jameis still and these other guys. But, in Gus's system, if he's like that, he will end up maybe getting the bulk of the carries. How concerning is it, since we're talking running backs, and I had a controversial take a while ago about one Cam Davis. Is anyone concerned that we haven't heard any raving reviews of Cam Davis taking the next step in this spring? Is anyone concerned, or is that just a bunch of nothing? That's a question for the chat, by the way. Putting my business in the street, but I appreciate that, Adam. Yes, it is tomorrow. Is a real nigga's holiday. I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all pour up one for your boy tomorrow. Turning 37. Tomorrow's a real one's holiday. Let's get it, says. I think we surprised a lot of people this year. That's awesome, bro. I'm not even mad at that. I promise you I'm not. I'm not mad at you for thinking that way. I would only ask you, if you think that way, what is the driving force of this? Like, what's getting us there? What's going to surprise people? Where's that player that you're going, yep, he's leading us to the surprise of the year? You're excited about Squirrel. Well, you got to have somebody to give him the ball, Jacob. That's the problem. Grand Champion was good. Gus must have left UCF for a reason. He must believe he can turn the offense around. Well, pretty sure he left for a reason. We'll never know. Corey says, "Oh damn, we don't have a kicker this year to hit a 66-yard field goals. I think we go average now 15 points a game." That's a good point, Briley. Have we heard any raving reviews about anybody taking the next step? That is actually a pretty good question. Again, but I've heard some stuff about Jaylen Brown. Like, there's some names that have been mentioned. Maybe it's coach speak, maybe not. I just find it interesting that, Cam Davis was highly touted. And, we watched him last year, and I was like, I don't know if I see it. And I don't know, maybe that's playing out in the spring. Yeah, no, I get that. Everybody's excited about Chroma, but damn, how quickly have we forgotten about Cam Davis is the point. Like, that's kind of the point I'm at. You feel me? Like, I get that. Everybody's excited for the new toy. But just last year, Cam Davis was the new toy. So much so that he was getting carries at the first game against Georgia Tech. What happened? Or is he really a fullback in running back's clothing? I don't know. Happy birthday to your daughter. She also, it is a real one's birthday. Your daughter is a real one, Jay. That's what I'm trying to say. Tomorrow is a real one's holiday. Happy birthday to your daughter. Aries all day. Appreciate the love, y'all. Ronald thinks we missed on Cam. That's true. Maybe I'm using the word rave a little loosely here. So that's a fair point. Excuse me. That's a fair point, Briley. I'm using the word rave maybe a little too loosely. But the point is and remains, I don't know. Feel like we should be expecting more from some of these guys, but we'll see. We'll see how it continues to play out. Hit that like button again for your boy. 53 people in the building. Hit the like button, please. I only got 35 likes, so I'd appreciate a few likes. YouTube says I got 53 of y'all watching, so. Antoine's son's birthday is Saturday. Well, you know what? A real one's weekend. Shout out to your son. All these April babies in the building. I love it. And you know what, Avante? I'm not mad at that. Don't overhype anybody. That's a good point. If I was Mike Norvell, I'd tell everybody that every player on this team is garbage. I wouldn't hype a soul. One, because you don't deserve it, and two, maybe you put a chip on their shoulder. So I'm with that. Everybody's trash as far as I'm concerned. Fatal Jedi was good. Yeah, I mean, Amari, I when we talked about that, I said that's how I saw them using him as that jack, as that guy that's going to stand up and do things off the edge. So shout out to Amari on that one. I know where Briley stands. Briley's pretty much out, but Almighty Finn, Grill Mask, like some of y'all, what's up, ML 1219? I want y'all to, again, talk me off the ledge if you can. ML 1219. You usually try to talk me off the ledge all the time. So why should I be confident in the 2025 Florida State Seminoles? Why should I be happy about that? Or why should I be excited? Why should I be optimistic about this team? Briley asked a question. Would you be happy with 8 wins? Personally, that's success to me. Sucks to be here, but here is where we are. So I understand the logic. Um, I understand the logic of like you were 2 wins. So yeah, got my eye cream.
Is it good?
Go away.
Okay.
Yeah. I understand the logic of you only won 2 games. You know, hell, 7, 8 wins, like that's a success. I think the problem I have is the reason why it's not a success to me because I vehemently want to avoid mediocrity. And if we're at the point where we start to settle for mediocrity, then you become what you are what you do. You're a mediocre program. The Florida State I grew up watching wasn't a mediocre program. For eight wins to me, here's the major problem. We saw a 10 win, a 10 win, and a 13-win team at Florida State not be able to crack the top 10 in recruiting. That should be a blaring red flag for everyone in this chat. Being happy with 8 wins, like, no. In my own personal opinion, you got to cut the head off the snake. But here we are. That man got a raise. It don't look like he ain't going nowhere. He made some changes on the offseason, which I can agree with. We'll see if these guys are able to save his job. But man, he's got to change his approach to building a team if he wants the success we need. That's just me, though. Okay. We're going to surprise some people. Tell me how, though. Don't just tell me we're going to surprise people. You got to tell me how. I alluded to that on the last stream where I'm not so sure all the injuries are as serious as, implied. Sitting guys out makes sense to me. You should be confident because it's not 24, so it has to be better. Believe it or not, there's worse things than 2-10. We still found a way to win 2 games. 0-12, 1-11 is still a possibility. Do I think this team will do that? No, I do not. I'm just saying. I believe TC is going to be, this is bananas. Bro, 2020. Well, ML1219, you are now no longer allowed to count me off of the edge because you said one of the most ridiculous things I might have ever seen in my life. 2022 Jordan Travis. 2022 Jordan Travis was better than 2023 Jordan Travis. So he's going to be the best version of Jordan Travis? Ooh, that is, y'all can clip that, highlight that. I'm not co-signing that. If y'all agree with any of that, God bless you. God bless you. Talk about bold takes. There's one for you, folks. Ten wins is the floor. We about to win 9 games minimum. Okay. 8 wins could get people complacent. It shouldn't really be the goal unless they find a way to recruit better. Bobby would never. Novell is never going to be a recruiting success at FSU. There's a philosophical problem there. He doesn't want to tell lies and apply pressure. It may make for an admirable. That's a good point. His approach may make him admirable, but does it make him a great coach? Not at FSU. That might work at. You got to have some Jimbo in you. You got to have some Urban Meyer to coach at these Florida schools. Look at the coaches that have been successful at the Florida schools. Hey, I didn't say 2023. Again, 2022 J-Trav was better than 23 J-Trav. Listen, with all due respect, 2023 Jordan Travis was not winning the Heisman, even if he doesn't break his leg. Go check the numbers. That wasn't happening. Don't let the snub fool you. 2022 was better. 2023 Jordan Travis, all they did was force jump balls up to Keon Coleman. Even before the injury, that offense was starting to be a stick-in-the-mud offense. 2022 offense was way more fluid and precise than the 2023 offense. That's not opinion either. Just go look at the numbers and go watch it. So this is actually a comparison that I watched, that I thought of earlier this week. I was like, can Thomas Castellanos be our De'Aaron King? And I tried to talk myself into it. The problem is De'Aaron King, TC is probably more athletic than De'Aaron King, right? He probably can run better. But De'Aaron King had a better arm. Bigger arm for sure. He wasn't always as accurate. But De'Aaron King had a better and bigger arm than TC. And he could make, again, the biggest criticism I have for TC is when it comes to those obvious passing down situations, when a team is not going to allow him to scramble all around and they're not going to fall for the RPO or the read or the pulling the ball out, and they're going to drop back and say, it's 3rd and 8, it's 3rd and 15, or, just you're behind the chains. It's 3rd and long. You have to get the ball here, and we're going to drop everybody here, and you're going to have to find the hole in the defense. I don't believe TC can do that. I think De'Aaron King could. I believe De'Aaron King could, which, go figure, he was the best quarterback Miami had until Cam Ward came along. I don't think he's De'Aaron King, man. I would take that. That's a better comparison than the Jordan Travis 2022 comparison. That is not a criteria for winning the Heisman, my man. I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. He come 100% outperformed Daniels head-to-head. He didn't have nearly the statistics that Jaden Daniels had. He wasn't winning the Heisman, my man. Wasn't happening. Jaden Daniels ran for over 1,000 yards, and what he threw for over 4,000 yards or something crazy like that. He was not winning the Heisman. Yes, he outperformed him head-to-head. Unfortunately for Jordan Travis, that ain't a criteria to winning the Heisman. Daniels was always going to win the Heisman with those video game numbers he had. Now, back to what I was saying. I like the De'Aaron King comparison more than I like that Jordan Travis comparison. Now, if you want to tell me Jordan Travis from 2021 is what you're going to see from TC, that might make a little bit more sense. But by the end of that year, he played really well. But he didn't start the year off that hot. But that's also, the Mackenzie Milton year? So maybe Brock Glenn could be our Mackenzie Milton. I don't know. So, with all that said, I think the spring probably is going as well as it can go. I think, again, take everything that you're going to get out of this with a grain of salt. Don't overly get hyped over the reports. Don't overly get too down on the reports, to be fair. It's going to be really interesting to see it actually in motion. I just struggle. I like a lot of pieces on this team. I believe the engine of the offense is the quarterback, man, and I think the surrounding pieces on offense are good. I don't think they're great. They're not enough to elevate TC to play better than what he actually is. I don't think we have that type of surrounding pieces. We have good enough pieces on offense, in my opinion, that if you have a good quarterback, you can have a good offense. Jeff says no one thought that Jordan can do that in 2022 and probably proved. Yeah, that's fair, but Jordan trended that way, though. Like I said, go watch how he ended the 2021 season. We probably make a bowl in 2021 if he doesn't get hurt against Florida. But you go watch the way he ended that year. I mean, that's the Miami, third and – damn, I can't believe I forgot it. Third and whatever it was. That's he ended that year on a hot streak. Jordan Travis was trending that way. So, yes, was it a surprise in 2022? To some degree, but he was trending that way. I don't think TC is trending anyway, but we will see. This is just a strawberry sundae, bro. But yes, from Dairy Queen. Yes, he did. He had like 700 yards, bro. George Travis wouldn't win the Heisman, my man. It wasn't happening. I would have loved to see it, but it wasn't going to happen. Jaden Daniels was a cheat code. And yes, Jordan Travis absolutely 100% outperformed him, and that is true. TC is more like Nick Marshall, who played for Gus. We just don't have the Trey Masons and those other. I don't know if he's Nick Marshall. Nick Marshall couldn't throw to save his life. I think I will give TC credit that he could probably throw better than Nick Marshall. If Nick Marshall could throw, FSU doesn't beat Auburn in that national championship game. Nick Marshall missed about 2 or 3 crucial throws that maybe break that game, and FSU can't come back in that game. If you go watch that game again, Nick Marshall couldn't throw. I give him more credit than that. But you're right about not having the Trey Masons and some of those other surrounding pieces to elevate TC. I agree with you there. Corey's in. Yeah, 4th and 14. If we have a bad year, will y'all Dion talk gonna come back? It probably is gonna come. If we have a bad year again, there's gonna be a lot of talk of a lot of coaches. Dion's name will be brought up. I 100% think that. It really did, bro. I told you it broke me. If y'all don't believe 2-10 broke me, it 100%. I didn't remember 4th. Y'all heard it. Broken, bro. I haven't cared. This is the first offseason, and it wasn't this bad with Willie. It wasn't like this is the first offseason in over 10 years. Maybe the first offseason ever being a Florida State fan that I just don't care. I just started getting back hitting the content button because I couldn't be bothered to get on here and lie to y'all or come up with BS stuff to talk about. Who cares, bro? 2-10 is the nastiest thing that's ever happened while I have rooted for this garnet and gold. And I've been rooting for this garnet and gold since I've been a kid, and I turn 37 tomorrow. It made me forget 4th and 14. 100% it did. It's made me forget names of players. I'm just now starting to get my spark back. If you can tell, in the month of March, we've actually started making more content, and I plan on continuing that through the summer and but it's been a chore. It's like being in a deep depression, and I've had to struggle and claw my way out of it just to get on the computer and talk to y'all. And I owe y'all, right? I owe y'all conversations like this. I owe y'all this platform. This platform is for us, the fan, to get in this comment section. And you can say things like Jordan Travis was going to win the Heisman, or you can say whatever you want to say. I give y'all that platform. I read every comment. I tell y'all this is the most interactive show for the Florida State fan. I owe y'all that because I read every comment, every single one. Whether you super chat me or not, I show everybody love. This is a conversation with me and y'all. This is how I like to run this show over here. But 2-10 made me almost not want to do this anymore. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That's why I went ghost for a while. 2-10 was like, what was the point? What was the point? Get on here and tell y'all the same lies that some of y'all other favorite content creators tell y'all? What was the point? I'm getting my spark back, slowly but surely. But 2-10 killed me, man. That 100% killed me. What's good, Peter? Two and 10 zapped all the excitement. Didn't know 2-10 was possible here. Facts. Facts. He did the impossible, bro. Facts. Appreciate that, Hank. The reason 2-10 broke me is because it didn't result in a reset. And that, oh my God, Briley, you just hit the nail on the damn head. You just hit the nail on the damn head, Briley. I don't know if you realize how real that first sentence is. You didn't just break me because you went 2-10. And I'm going to read the rest of the comment. But you broke me because you went 2-10 and no after 2-10, we're supposed to be selling out for Dan Lanning or so. Like you're supposed to be trying to go after the number one coach in the country because you just went 2-10. Our head coach is still here. Coach JP is still on the staff. Chris Thompson is. You're about to make me depressed again, Briley. Holy cow. Holy cow, Briley. You're about to make me depressed again. We're running it back. I'm going to read it in its entirety, but I don't think this might be the best comment of the night. Briley says the reason 2-10 broke me is because it didn't result in a reset. It should have meant change, but because it came on the heels of a new contract, we aren't just coming off of 2-10. We're also running it back. Damn. Damn. I hear you, Jeff. Again, this is new territory for the Florida State football fan. Not back to Mormon country. That's crazy. I'm 45 and I was getting pissed when we were just winning the ACC with bro. Tell me about it. I got numb on the last. I got numb to last year after the BC game. 0-2 was enough for me. I knew it was over. If you were on this channel, you knew exactly after 0-2. I told everybody the same thing. And people told me I was crazy for saying that this team would not make a bowl game. I knew then too, Antoine. And again, if you were here, you know I'm not lying. At 0-2, I said this team will not make a bowl game. This team will struggle to make a bowl game. Didn't know it'd be 2-10 bad. It didn't take much to see that was a bad football team last year. Jeff with the $20, man. Shout out to Jeff. Showing more love like always. He says, you know what I'm pissed about is all the media last year lying to Seminole fans and the coaches. Jeff, I'm pissed at the result, but sure, I'm with you. Like, there's nothing about last year that doesn't piss you off. Appreciate that again, Jeff. Where's P-Dub? I got to give Jeff some P-Dub. There we go.
Get more money, yeah.
But yeah, man, we did an hour and 30. We can sit here and talk about how bad it was. I know this is therapy for some of y'all. Hell, I think it's therapy for me. Instead of going ghost, I should have just came on here and had some therapy with y'all. Look, man, it's the spring, and with the spring pretty much being closed, look, it's hard to get on here and talk about what's going on in the spring because it's all speculation, right? And that's fine. At the end of the day, I'm going to give my opinion on the weaknesses I think of this team and the strengths. To sum up, I think the strength of this team will start on the defensive side of the ball. I think that front seven can get a little bit more depth. I like that defensive front for sure. I like that defensive secondary, even though it's a huge question mark because we don't know. They've had some injuries back there, but what we do know is they've got legit. Earl Little's legit. Edwin's legit. We've seen Hussey be legit. This is going to be a new come-up year for him. And then they've recruited like a madman at those positions. They've got legit guys back there in that secondary. So because of that, you look at the defense and you go, okay, that's the strength for me. However, the problem I have flat out is offensively. And it starts with the quarterback room. I have no faith that the quarterback room, one, will be any good, and two, will stay healthy. We will, even if ML 1219, you said something ridiculous, but even if TC is playing like Jordan Travis 2022, by the way, I'm not co-signing that. This is all, but he said that. Even if TC won't make it through the season because he's never made it through a season because he's 5'6", 190 pounds, whatever he is. We will see Brock Glenn at some point this year. Like, we will see that. I have no doubt in my mind we will see Brock Glenn in meaningful games because TC is going to get banged up. And with all that said, y'all, that is the show for tonight. Y'all know I only like to go about an hour and 30 on these hangovers. But this weekend, we can do some more therapy, man, if y'all want to get on here on Saturday and really, dig into some of this stuff. But as always, I appreciate y'all coming in, kicking it with me for a little bit. Hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. Share the videos with the Florida State fans. Anybody that's not aware of who I am, even if they know me and don't like me, share the video with them anyway. You know what? Maybe I'll say something that they like. But I got some more stuff coming this weekend, potentially. But I'll definitely be here this time next week. So as always, it's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles. We are out here. Go Noles.